guys, it's Anastasia Finds. I'm a stylist and a personal shopper, and today's video is on my jewelry collection. This was requested by my subscribers on Instagram, and I'm quite proud of my little curated jewelry collection, and I have some experience to share, so I hope it's gonna be a very useful video for you. To begin with, I would like to say that I think in general my style in jewelry is I try to pick smaller pieces, modern designs, try to pick good materials, quality over quantity, but I also do like to experiment with some new shapes, and that's why my collection is kind of a combination of investment pieces in high brands, some of the non-branded pieces in gold that I picked up for myself or I had them made, and I have a couple of other pieces for fashion, styling, and just for fun and for the variety. This is what I find most amazing about having some jewelry, and when you have a really small minimal wardrobe, it might be a bit boring, but if you have enough accessories, you can always tell a new story. For me, jewelry is in style. It's about storytelling, it's about communicating the values, and it's about telling a bit more about yourself, or sometimes you can pretend to be somebody else, or just have a little bit of fun with it. And that's why I'm not such a fan of getting jewelry as a gift or inheriting jewelry as an heirloom, although it might have some sentimental value. But I think for me, my pieces that I wear is how I communicate with the world, and how I embellish myself. It's like a kind of expression of myself as well, and I think it's really hard to really give somebody a piece of jewelry that they're gonna enjoy. So that's what I think, unless they're a stylist and they know you very well. So I remember growing up as a little girl, and I would usually, it's traditional, I guess, for me, that in my family I would usually get it as a gift from my parents or from my grandparents, and although they made so much effort, it would not necessarily be something that worked so well for me. That's why I never really liked jewelry, I think, because I just didn't know what suited me, and it does take a little bit of experience. Okay, so let's just start, and here I'm just gonna show you some pieces that I think are my favorites. So these are totally picked for myself already, with having some understanding. So when I pick jewelry, I also think about it as an investment, so I want to get something that I can wear pretty much every day, and something that would add this nice definition, this nice detailing to my outfit every single day. I do not invest in jewelry that's only for the occasion, where for those occasions I just opt for something on the high street, and really they do not even get that much wear anyway. So this is a necklace that I bought. I picked myself as a present maybe around 5 years ago, and this is so lovely. Design that I like. I actually bought it online. It was my first time buying jewelry online, and it was excellent because I think if you know exactly what you're looking for, so looking for something small to wear every day, something that has stars, and it has this even blacking on the gold, so it's not too shiny, and I like things to be a bit edgy, so I quite like metals with a little bit of black. Silver, I used to love silver a lot more, or white jewelry. I think at the moment my favorite is yellow gold, and especially rose gold. Rose gold is something that I really love, but it's really a combination. Telling your story, you can mix and match, that always works. So this was from the store Brown's Fashion, and the brand is called, I believe, Rosa de la Cruz. These designs, they sometimes could be also fragile. I think once it snapped for me. So yeah, really you also want to think about the design, if it's gonna be quite long lasting. And what is good when it's like real jewelry, that you can get it fixed. If it's from like a big designer or jewelry house like Cartier or Van Cleef, they will have like all types of maintenance for your pieces, so you do not really lose your value. But something that is like this, small, I love it. My other piece that I got later, I always was hunting for some earrings that would also like add to my everyday style without being too much, you know. I tried to not to distract too much from my face, from my appearance, so everything that I picked is quite small, has small detailing. Previously, I remember I loved like bigger stud earrings or pearl earrings, but I think they just not in a trend right now. They look slightly dated. So the general trend for now, I think, is to have like more but smaller pieces, and a lot of women opt for piercings. I think it's something that I wanted to consider as well, but I didn't get it yet. So and because you have to think of like about your earlobe and what can you really do. Mine is a bit thicker here, so actually I could easily accommodate like 1 or 2 more pieces. So this design that I picked is really lovely, and it just, you know, makes this type of like effect that it's not just one earring but it's a few, and it just sits very organically. This is by a brand that's called Sydney Evans. I think it's American brand. Super lovely. She always makes most amazing modern pieces that are so wearable, and with the design is really great as well. I never lost to it. It's like very, very secure. It's really my favorite. So it's really like day to night. And yeah, as I said, I don't like wearing sometimes too much. Sometimes I want to like highlight my face and do a bit more in terms of makeup, but sometimes I do not feel like wearing too much jewelry as well, so it has to be small for me. My other jewelry pieces, yes, some of them I got as a gift, and although I love it, but you know, when somebody picks it for you, they don't know, it's hard for them to know like what exact length of the chain should be. So this one is like slightly shorter that I would want. This is by Tiffany. I got it from my dearest husband as my first Christmas present. I love it. It's very sentimental, but ideally you would want to make it a bit longer. So that's why it's also a good idea to invest in real jewelry pieces, because they could be remodeled and made into new pieces. Although sometimes you would kind of lose value if you want to resell it, or if you don't like it anymore, because you don't just pay for gold, and you also pay for the brand. So partly for that reason, I also am a big fan of unbranded jewelry, when you only pay for the gold, and you can get it in many places like gold bazaars or like specialized gold markets. I think every major city now has one, or there are brands that are selling a jewelry at like some basic designs. So I have some of these pendants and necklaces that I picked up at a gold bazaar, gold souk in Dubai. And what you pay for is the market price of gold, plus maybe 20%, sometimes 30% if it's a really, really good design. And then if you don't like it, you sell it back, and you sell it back at the cost of gold. So you don't really lose that much value, and that's what I like. And that's what my mom taught me as well. So we always come, we take everything that we don't like to wear anymore. You kind of spend still a little bit of money, but it's nice. It's like a recycling, really. So with golden jewelry, it's really good that they can be remodeled into new things. With the chain, those you have to know, like some designs are like more durable, some are not. So sadly, I have this beautiful chain that my friend told me it's like a beading chain. Yeah, know the real term, but some of them could be a bit more fragile, and I think it was my son who pulled it and it snapped, unfortunately. So I think it was already the second time. So you really have to think about the design that's like more wearable and versatile, but still, you know, like I didn't lose it, and it's real gold, so it has some value. When I just want to be playful, sometimes I go to shops like Other Stories, previously H&M, but they have some like major pieces, they're good. but I think in the other stories they really put a lot of like effort into design, and it's like more European and more like detailed, like small, on a smaller side as well. And for me it's just, you know, trying something new, some new styles, and then I will decide maybe if I want to get the same in a real gold as well. I really loved this necklace. I got many compliments and many questions before. It was from last summer from other stories. It's so beautiful. It has this little dainty black beading, something that really works for me too. So I really now plan to have it made in gold, so I can have this piece always with me and it wouldn't tarnish. I have recently started wearing some anklets, and I think it's so much fun to wear. And you know, because I work a lot with like this luxury brands, and I like fancy shoes like Chanel, but I also noticed that I grow tired of them quite quickly. So my take on shoes this time around is I'm gonna wear something plain, like plain leather, like the Oran, or something that's like just like a white thong sandal, and I'm gonna accessorize separately. So it kind of does the same trick. You know, Chanel shoes are nice because they have the chain and they have some metal on them, but you can't change the design when it's already there. And with the jewelry and anklets you can have a little bit more fun, which I think is just amazing. With yeah, some of my earrings are a bit more playful, so my major like styling style is one like for like work, like more authoritative, like, or you know, for to be more approachable. When I meet with people, I try to wear something a bit smaller, like to be a bit more friendly, I guess. When I am doing a more fashion styling, or I go somewhere where I have to, you know, present myself, I wear something a bit bolder. I wear my best pieces, so like my favorite leaf earring, or I would use hoops. I just recently started wearing hoops really, and something like playful and a little bit of boho I sometimes wear on the weekend, where I'm like a wifey mode and I wear something like really boho-y, like plain black t-shirt with some like a floral skirt. I have a lot of fun this way. So, you know, like women, we play a lot of roles. That's why not to use your jewelry as your tool as well to tell your story. So for storage, I really use these Muji boxes. These are for the drawers, and some of the pieces that I wear a lot, I just keep them in my bathroom. And because they're real gold, they can be easily stored anywhere that the humidity doesn't ruin it. If it's not real gold, you have to be a bit more careful. And I have this other box. I believe it was also from Muji or somewhere similar. I got it as a gift, and it just keeps everything organized. But yeah, it usually gets messy as well, so you have to like clean it up quite regularly. With the hoops, it took me a while to figure out what to do with them. I never was a fan of hoops, maybe because I never knew exactly like what type of metal finish and what size they should be, because there's so many details. So if you're like more on a thin profile and if you have long hair, something thin works really well. It kind of like just gives a little bit of shine into your hair. It doesn't really stand out that much as well. What I love about hoops, and yeah, they're really versatile, but they're not always suitable, you know, like for professional style, so you have to think about that as well. If you're professional, I think the best choice are stud earrings or some small earrings. You could have a little bit more fun with that as well. You can go for something a bit asymmetrical. I actually had this design. This was from the brand called Gold and Stone and Strand, and this was silver, so it's slightly already snapped. But the idea is that one earring is not like just like pointed or rounded, but it's slightly longer, so it also gives you this like nice detailing. And I think the trend as well is that you want things to go like upwards, not downwards. And with the age as well, I feel like when we get a little bit of older and we lose like some volume in the face, when you pick earrings that kind of look down like hoops, sometimes you can still do hoops, but be careful with that. After a certain age, probably you would just want to have something like a stud, and the trend that I saw now on all like celebrities, they just using earrings that go a little bit upward, and they use a little bit of piercing, so when you look at your face, kind of like all the line looking upwards, and this create really nice like youthful definition. And yeah, jewelry doesn't have to be too big or like too branded. I think that's the trend that is there for now. Sometimes I also, well, in the past I loved to use some fashion jewelry from brands like Dior and Chanel, because you know, like they kind of trick you. Oh, you have this Dior earring and you almost look like a girl in Dior outfit, which is not always the case. I had them, I tried them, it didn't really work so well for me. I still probably keep just like a pair of earrings by Chanel that are cute, and they were from a Dubai collection, and so they're quite meaningful to me as well, because I live in the Middle East and that's like kind of a big part of my life as well. And the rest of my jewelry box is really just like some heirloom jewelry. This is actually my favorite because it's this is not heirloom, but it's an investment jewelry piece. It's a piece of gold, yeah, that's like investment gold. How do you call it? Oh, not a ramp gold, but yeah, so it's like a little gold bar. One of my favorites, like, and most fun jewelry pieces is this one. I got it from my dad. My dad loves investing in precious metals, and this is like really fun. And he found this one with a like leopard print. So it's a real bar of gold, 20 grams, like 999 carats, and it's so much fun. Sometimes I wear it, but it's quite heavy as well. It's actually fun to just have it around. Love you, Dad. Thank you for this. It's amazing. And you know, like if you want to sell it, you don't really lose any value. So yeah, so sometimes you really have to think about not losing your value. So I don't think having too much gold like sitting in your jewelry box that you don't wear is any good idea. And with diamonds as well, I worked in the diamond industry, and although they seem fun, and but they're not always good investment. To be honest, you always like lose money when you want to sell it. So yeah, I just have like some more like different sizes of hoops that I sometimes use. So these are from Misguided, and these are from Misguided as well. I think they were part of one set, so you kind of can try what suits you. I actually have them pinned on my blog. I have this part of my blog where you can shop my wardrobe, and most of the pieces you would find there. So give it a try. I was really also hesitant about hoops, but they're quite fun to wear, and you know, they give you this like playful and nice like polished look. Yeah, so as I said, for the professional styling, you probably want to try some studs as well. Some of these I found on a high street. I have this one circular little one. I use it in some other videos from other stores. I think they don't have it right now in stock, but if they will have it again, I'll definitely link it. So this was really good. You know, the stud earrings, they make you really approachable, and they just give you this little tiny finish that if you already have your ear pierced, when it's like bare, it looks kind of naked. So you just put something really small in there just to create a nice finish and definition. And I actually copied, I had this one from the high street. It was from H&M, and I had it copied in gold because I love the design so much. And as I said, sometimes I want to be a little bit more like on the edgy side, and I find with the sportier outfits, sometimes it's hard to find earrings that works. So I think when I'm like in a sporty, edgy style, something that is a stud earring that is a bit more chunky like this works really well for me. So yeah, if it was like a stone with diamond, it would have like very different effect. It's kind of like luxury or like fake luxury, or you have to have really like nice diamond earrings in a nice finish. But I think it's really quite hard also, you know, to pick in a right size for you. So for me, they would be pretty big diamonds, and you know, these are a bit more like practical as well. And if you I think the pearl earrings are just also like give you slightly dated look and they're like not too sporty. If you want to be like you know, like very classical, you probably try to wear more of the pearl earrings, but for me I don't think they would work anymore. I think in your 20s or like early 30s they really work best when you want to be like this classy type of girl, and after a certain age you just want to be like more like youthful, like modern, and kind of like a cool girl look, right? It's not like too much like feminine look. So that's just what I think. And yeah, my last pieces that I actually wear every day, and you probably noticed if you're watching me for some time, I actually do not own an engagement ring in a traditional sense. It just also happened because I worked in the diamond industry, and I would be so particular to what I would want to get if I was shopping for a diamond ring, that it would take a lot of trouble and it would cost a lot of money, and I don't think it's really a good investment as well. So you have to consider all of these. So I just have my wedding band, and it actually wasn't like my real wedding band. We had some pieces also like inherited from the family, and they are just kept here in my jewelry box. The reason why I don't wear them, I don't like the design too much. It doesn't like work so well. That's why I really like some like big jewelry brands, because they make designs that work really well, and they also like provide all types of maintenance, and it kind of is really cute. So you have to really think about what works for you, and even if it's just like your wedding band or engagement ring, you can always like change the concept. I know women who sold their engagement ring and they bought some like nice statement necklace instead, because this lady, she said, you know, my fingers are not so great, I'd better wear something on my neck. And I have the same approach, honestly. So like my most expensive piece of jewelry that I currently have is this love bracelet, and I also love it because I can wear it every day. It's such a great design. It's like very nicely just sitting there on my hand, gives me like right definition, gives me this like feeling of, you know, polished look, and like a little bit like, you know, maybe like a status. But I also believe it like protects me from the evil eye, because you know, once I had it removed for just a few days to just, you know, like have a little bit of change, and I suddenly got really ill. So, but I'm never like, I never get sick, and you know, I thought maybe, you know, like it adds like some energy, or like, you know, it protects me from the bad things, from bad spirits as well. And my rings I collected over the years. So I think this one I actually bought for myself. And it acts as my like wedding band or like my everyday ring. My husband actually does not wear his wedding ring. Fine with it, like it's up to him. In the Middle East, I think men in general, they do not wear a lot of jewelry either. And this is my nail ring. I got it as a Christmas present. Yeah, of course I picked it for myself as well, and I like it because it's edgy and it's such a good quality as well, all like very nice. It doesn't, you know, like scratch me anywhere, and I can wear it on my second finger, on my middle finger, and if I want to wear them together, this kind of gives a similar look like an engagement ring would. And I have this like combination of these. Yeah, they might be like a bit basic, you would say, like, you know, you could have had like unbranded jewelry, but it's a good investment because they do not lose value, because the price, they increase every single year, I believe. And you know, the design, I think that's most importantly. With unbranded jewelry or custom made jewelry, it's really hard to find this type of design that is really, you know, like so durable and so long lasting and like nice to wear. So these were just like some information about my jewelry collection. I would really love to hear from you too. What are your favorites in your jewelry, or what are you currently shopping for? Maybe I could give you some information from best of my experience. I'd love to hear from you. Please write me in a comment, and thank you for watching. I hope this was useful for you, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and check my Instagram for any style inspo. I love you, and I'm gonna see you in my next one.